How do people in a Marxist society overcome oppression?
Yeah, well...
They leave.
Okay, sure.
So why don't you live in a Marxist country? I'm just curious.
Why don't I live in a Marxist country? Well, I mean, aside from the fact that I was born here and I would like the United States to be a better place, the reality is, like, when it comes to overcoming oppression, I mean, just look at, once again, Vietnam, right? Vietnam invaded by the United States. Is that not oppression? Or what about North Korea, for example? In North Korea, we killed 1 out of every 5 people in their entire country. Is not the very minimum of evicting colonizers and evicting imperialist armies.
Hold on a second. Why did we invade Korea?
Why did we invade Korea?
I'm asking you.
No, you tell me. Because the truth of the matter is, their economy, first and foremost, they were, obviously, Imperial Japan was occupying Korea. Then you have the socialists that liberate Korea from Imperial Japan. Then you have all of these powers coming in the middle of Korea at the end of World War II and ended up splicing it up. So the reality is, one of the reasons why we invaded Korea is because we were deeply upset that anybody anywhere in the world would be socialist. Because do you think Korea is going to invade the United States? Do you think right after World
let me
War
ask you a question.
II, they were about to invade?
Where is it a better place to live? Seoul, South Korea, or Pyongyang, North Korea?
I don't know. It depends on who you are.
You believe there's not even a question of who, like an average everyday worker, Pyongyang, North Korea, or Seoul, South Korea, right now?
It really depends on who you are. Ask poor people in South Korea how they're feeling about their system of government.
They are kissing the ground every day that they are.
Why are there so many defectors that defect from North Korea that then defect back to North Korea?
Name one.
What do you mean? I'm not going to list them off by name.
Name one.
Well, you can just Google it.
Oh, you can Google it. Have you ever heard of Yemeni Park?
Yeah.
What about her?
What about her? Do you want to know
the young lady whose father was murdered, she was sold into sex slavery, barely escaped to China, came to America to tell us what's really going on in North Korea?
Okay, buddy. Why is she doing conferences with, the Heritage Foundation and these
because
right-wing
she'll go to anyone that will listen to her first-hand perspective. So
okay,
hold on a second.
Or maybe perhaps
North Korea is
Hear me out. Did you know that there's a whole game show in South Korea where they bring on defectors and they're incentivized, right? The more over the top their story is, right? The more they get paid, right? And the more they keep getting brought on these shows. So the reality is, nobody's going to say that North Korea is a perfect place to live. Nobody's going to say that, right? Nobody's going to say that there aren't terrible things.
It is hell.
But the reality is, there's explicit financial incentives for people to inflate stories about North Korea.
Let me give you an example that isn't a financial incentive.
Okay, sure.
You look from space at night on South Korea and North Korea. North Korea is dark, and South Korea has lights all over.
Do you think that has anything to do with the sanctions that the United States has on North Korea?
It's North Korea that has imposed a lot of sanctions on the West as well. They developed nuclear technology against us.
Sure.
North Korea could make some choices against us immediately.
Who are their major economic trade partners? Do you think
China, Iran.
Okay, 2. You've named 2.
Yeah, China and Iran. That's about it. No one else really trade. They're a pariah state.
Why?
Why is North Korea a pariah state? Because they murder their own citizens and re-educate them?
Or maybe because the United States
because they have gulags all across North Korea?
Maybe it's because the United States has gone out of its way to make sure that every country that we deal with isn't allowed to trade with North Korea.
Let's finish the point.
You think maybe that has an impact on their economic development?
Our intervention in Korea helped create South Korea and make sure that the entire Korean peninsula wasn't going to become all of North Korea.
What happened in South Korea in the 90s? How did they treat disabled people? Because here's the thing.
Let me finish.
They literally, you want to talk about concentration camps.
Let me finish.
South Korea was putting people in concentration camps. They were putting disabled people,
patently ridiculous.
Homeless people.
Let me finish. Thanks to America's intervention, 100 million South Koreans right now live in a free, democratic society. Absent America's intervention,
their society's not democratic.
They would be all like North Korea, which they are poorer, they are unhappier, they have no freedom.